Alright, fellow viewers, I bring to you today my fully complete Messiah deck. I've been wanting to do this deck for a while on, the channel, but there's the one pain in the butt card until recently to get my hands on, and that was the G-Rare for it. But I've got them, I've got the deck all together. This is my first draft, keep that in mind. I'm hoping to have a more updated version soon. But as you can see, I use Spawn of the Spiral Nebula as my starter. Simple, G-Break 1, put it into the soul, lock one of your cards, and lock one of your opponents. It's great for generating that multi-lock advantage that the deck wants. But in my experience so far, I find it runs out of steam a little fast, so I'm trying to kind of like tech and find a way to keep doing that. Like find a way to make it a more constant pressure than just, one big turn and it's done. But anyway, let's get into this. I have 4 heals, 4 and 8 crits, and 4 draw. So, simple, aggressive approach from the deck. It makes it fun. It makes it, more punishing for if someone calls a no guard on something. Moving on. Alright, for our grade 1s, everyone questions why I keep these in the deck. I just like them as a early defensive option, but I use 3 Grab Hand Gorilla. I prefer it as my first turn ride alternative, namely because, much like Steam Fighter Tiaog, it gets that free 5k shield whenever it is attacked. Given it's only until the end of battle, so it's not like 2 attacks and it becomes, unhittable after that. Otherwise you just sit on it and just take, 1 hit. Next up we have 4 Perfect Shield, because you go through counterblasts like it's going out of style in this deck. And to help with that, we also have 3 Dark Metal Chameleon, which when it is unlocked by an effect, is able to turn a damage face up. Oh, never mind. I actually misread his effect. It says when this unit is unlocked, period, not by just effect. When it unlocks normally, it still gets that unflip ability. Wow, that's kind of amazing. This card's very broken. Should be banned. Not really. Alright, and we have 4 Destiny Dealer. Perfect for searching out your alter ego Messiah, or just being used as stride fodder to kind of, help the deck get into those big plays a lot faster. On to the grade 2s. Right. For our grade 2s, I'm still working on the lineup and you'll see why shortly. But I run 4 Lady Battler of Gravity Well. I feel that she's a must staple for the deck since she gets power from locking a card. She helps generate some massive advantage, and if you get double rearguard columns with her, it's beautiful. I've had next to my entire field locked with her before, with the exception of, I think, 1 card. Right, then we have 4 Awakening Messiah. It should be a no-brainer. I think 4 is a bit much, so I'm looking for some way to tech it out for maybe some other things. At least one of them get teched out. And for my final thing, I run 3 Sunset Edge Duskblade. I have mixed feelings because he's helped me generate some pretty nasty columns, but at the same time, I feel there's a better card to replace him with. But just while I'm looking, I'm going to keep him in the deck. I'm thinking possibly the new promo, Blastfoot Monk of the Thundering Foot or something, that gets plus 4,000 power when it unlocks something. So I'm still kind of trying to decide like what should go in there. I think it still has a bunch of options, and I'm kind of waiting for the deck to develop more with some more support, hopefully. Alright, on to grade 3s. Alright, for our grade 3s, I have 4 Lady Gunner of the Neuron Star. I love her in the deck, sheerly because call her onto a rearguard or Vanguard at G-Break 1, she locks one of your cards and one of your opponent's cards. I just wish you could target herself as the lock target, go lock, lock. But sadly, that is not the case. She's one of those things that helps me get almost all of my field locked, which opens up for those big Amnesty Messiah turns. And of course, I run 4 Alter Ego Messiah. I wish I had more like this, the stamped version. The world and I are one. Sounds so epic, but not the point. Alright, for his G-Break 2, just like Chaos Breaker, with the obvious exception of, you know, it doesn't retire what unlocks, but anytime something unlocks, you may Soul Blast 1, and then draw a card. So it makes for some interesting advantage that's able to, like, increase your drive checks and everything. And his Break Stride, lock one of your cards and one of your opponent's for a counterblast of 1. Also, when you stride over, it gets power plus 5,000. Which I think that's interesting, and I always forget that that plus 5,000 exists on there. So, I mean, like, sometimes I screw myself out of wins with the deck, but I'm still getting used to it and still testing it out. Right. And now for the finale. We have our strides. I run 2 Genesis Dragon Judgment Messiah. Much like every stride deck has, it has that smaller stride that's perfect for, you know, your first turn stride, for example. This is one of them. If it hits, it locks one of your opponent's back row and unlocks one of your cards. I found it really useful with Neon Messiah. Looking at it now, I'm still trying to figure out, like, where it has, like, some nice usage in my deck. Seeing as, you know, pretty much you want to save your stuff for Amnesty Messiah to unlock. But at the same time, if you had to unlock anything, I mean, like, you could do an early game Dark Metal Chameleon. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves on that. Next up, just because I like the card because it helps generate some more of that good locking advantage, we have Nebula Dragon, Big Crunch Dragon, or as I call him, Captain Crunch. Yes, ha ha ha, the joke's been done before, whatever. But if you counterblast 1, flip up a copy of him, and have 2 or more units in your G-Zone, you're able to Omega Lock, essentially, one of your opponent's columns. For those of you who do not understand Omega Lock, you basically take and you lock your opponent for 2 turns, but I don't feel I should have to explain that. And finally, just because I want to show what a big deal this actually is and how beautiful they actually are, we have 2 Amnesty Messiah. I remember back when this loser here was 50, 60 bucks. So glad that he's dropping. I think he's about at 35 or so right now. Maybe a little bit cheaper. But anyway, you can choose to counterblast 1, unlock as many cards as you want, and you can use him as a first stride option if you want to go into a really early game big play. I find him actually really perfect. He destroys quite a lot of shit. Especially if he unlocks 3 or more cards. He does gain a critical. But with that, he also gains 3,000 extra power per unlocked card. So unlocking as many as possible tends to be really nice. I'm still trying to find a nice balance to where I can leave my opponent completely minused and plus myself. I know there's a way to do it. I'm just favoring, you know, the really big plays right now with the deck and kind of seeing, like, what its limits are. But that'll do it for this deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment and leave your remarks on it. I could definitely use a little bit of help with the deck. As, you know, Messiahs are that off-brand Link Joker deck, much like Deleters. But I'll catch you guys later. Keep on playing and keep on having fun.